The WHO chief clear that attacks on healthcare facilities are a violation of international humanitarian law and deprives people of urgently needed care, appealing directly to the Council for three things.
We urge the Security Council to work for an immediate ceasefire and a political solution. Prolonged conflict is in nobody's interest and will only prolong the suffering of the most vulnerable. The life-saving medicine we need right now is peace. Second, we urge all donors to support the response to humanitarian needs in Ukraine and neighboring countries, which are immense and escalating every day. Although Ukraine is rightly the focus of the world's attention, I urge you not to lose sight of the many other crises in which people are suffering.
Dr Ghebreyesus listed Afghanistan, Tigray, Ethiopia, Syria and Yemen among a host of global hotspots that require the world's continued attention despite the justified focus on Ukraine. This as the UN says that since the beginning of the Russian invasion, some 5 million Ukrainians have been displaced both internally and across borders, with at least 1,900 confirmed civilian casualties, including 726 deaths. Warning that the numbers were probably much higher. UN officials say most of the casualties were caused by the use of explosive weapons in populated areas.
The devastation and suffering in Mariupol and Kharkiv raises grave fears about the fate of millions of residents of Kiev and other cities facing intensifying attacks. International humanitarian law is crystal clear. Civilians are entitled to protection against the dangers arriving from military operations. Direct attacks on civilians are prohibited. Yet, the magnitude of civilian casualties and the destruction of civilian infrastructure in Ukraine cannot be denied. This demands a thorough investigation and accountability.
While the horrors of this war are most acute for women and girls.
90% of the refugees fleeing Ukraine are women and children, indicating the heightened risk of gender-based violence and other forms of exploitation and abuse, including trafficking. As the Secretary General said, for predators, human traffickers, and human traffickers, war is not a tragedy, it is an opportunity. We are deeply concerned about media reports of incidents of gender-based violence and trafficking.
The Council was expected to convene again on Friday to vote on a Russian draft humanitarian resolution, a move that appears to now be on hold in the absence of enough support.
It will not be adopted, and to tell you the truth, this is very much the story of the arsonist's firefighter. So you launch a war, you kill people, you bomb civilians, and then you call for help. So I think this is the reason why this project is not serious, and I think it will fail with a huge majority.
Some Council members concerned that the draft resolution doesn't name Russia as a protagonist or insist on the withdrawal of its troops from Ukraine. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, SABC News, New York.